Another valuation technique in the crypto asset space is known as the equation of exchange. Now, in economics, this is known as the quantity theory of money. But as proposed to the crypto space was done by a guy named Chris Burniske. Now, the equation of exchange essentially is simple. MV equals PQ. And that stands for money times velocity equals price level times quantity. And let me break this down really simple. This is an accounting identity that says what is bought must equal what is sold. So when we talk about equation of exchange, there's one function or parameter that we're really not still sure of, and that's what is velocity. So velocity means how much a unit of account or a dollar turns over a given time period. Let me explain. In the US markets with the US dollar, we have a velocity of about a little over 5. Now we know in the US markets with the dollar, you can't spend it as quickly as you can spend things online in the digital space. So crypto velocity is widely understood, and in order to understand this equation of exchange, you have to make some pretty big assumptions. But let me walk you through this to see how it could possibly be something that values how much a crypto asset is worth. Now, I gave you MV equals PQ, that's money base times velocity equals the price of money times the quantity needed. So let me go over this. In the US system, we have an asset base of about 4 trillion in US dollars, and times that by a velocity of about 5, and this is equal to our GDP. So our GDP in the US is about 20 trillion. So 4 trillion here times velocity of 5 gives you 20 trillion. Now, how do you measure the value of Bitcoin? Well, you have to think of what are some of its use cases that we can apply to an equation of exchange. And we know the world remittance market is about 500 billion. And let's say Bitcoin were to take about 50 billion out of the global remittance market. So 50 billion, and it would be how much Bitcoin is needed times its velocity equals 50 billion. And to solve for this, you would take velocity, and let's make the assumption that velocity is the same as the US dollar market, and it's 5. So one use case of Bitcoin means that we need 10 billion of US dollars purely for remittance payments. Now this is also additive, so you can think of other use cases of Bitcoin that you can also add to this. So let's take the gold market. Gold is a $7 trillion market. Perhaps Bitcoin takes up about 10% of the gold market, so that's another 700 billion use case. But gold, the velocity is a lot lower, because when you're holding gold, you're storing it somewhere. You're not freely trading it like you are with remittance payments. So a quick assumption to say is that the velocity, let's say, is 2, and the gold market, which is 10% of 7 trillion, would be 700 billion. So now the Bitcoin needed would give you a $350 billion market cap because you take 700 divided by 2. So this is a simple accounting identity or an equation of exchange that shows a simplified way to value Bitcoin or other crypto assets. So this concludes section 2, crypto valuations. So now you should be able to apply different crypto valuation techniques. You should know how to use metrics to monitor the health of the blockchain system. And you should also understand crypto asset mining.